you should open your ears, Cody, and listen to them, maybe for a second, and stop trying to school and teach them about triangulation. He's the worst. Well, Sister Friends, this episode was jam-packed. I think we'll just go chronologically through it because there's so much to talk about this time. Oh, gosh. This couldn't have been more frustrating. This is what we just discussed. I just got finished watching it with the SOS exclusive Sister Friends, and we were like, are you kidding me? The stuff that comes out of Cody's mouth, like, I'm so angry at TLC for not forcing the sister wives to confront Cody. But let's face it, he looks so bad on the show just by being himself that really, no need. They're probably like, we don't need to pile on anymore. He's doing enough himself. All right. So we pick up this episode where the last one left off. So he's sitting with Christine and David. This is right after he talked to David and said something to David, and then David responded to him. And then he's like, I don't know why David needs to have an opinion about anything here. Unbelievable.
Do you remember inviting him?
He claimed, in his own words, he invited David. And then said why he invited David. He never said Christine asked if David could come. He never said David invited himself. He said he invited David and says, what? To sit there and say absolutely nothing? I invited David, but I wanted him to zip his lip and watch me have a conversation with his ex-wife. I mean, how dumb is Cody? Pretty dumb. That's the answer right there. Pretty dumb. All right, let's pick it up where we left off. Cody's saying, oh, I used to love her. Remember we were saying, yeah, it's really kind of bizarre. Oh, no, it gets way more bizarre. Way more bizarre. He didn't just leave it at, I did used to love you, which is odd enough and everybody knows it. But like he made such a big deal of it. That's why I thought they were saying, oh, this is weird. This is uncomfortable. Why are you acting like this? Oh, no. Cody lays it on thick. I felt like he was just saying basically everything except for, remember how great we were together in bed? I mean, that's the only thing he left out, which, I mean, he wasn't.
Allegedly.
Well, we know from Christine's book, he ain't good in bed.
Allegedly.
I'm just stating facts. It's in the book. You can watch my book read, get the book yourself. That's what I highly recommend. Support Christine. So that's why he left that one out. Other than that, let's go ahead and see what he has to say. But wait first. It starts off with Christine saying how uncomfortable all of this is, and then really throwing him under the bus, saying, oh, your wife should be here if you're going to talk to me like this. This is not right. Where's your wife? Robin is going to flip out when she sees that. She is not going to like it. Not one bit. Because Robin's going to be like, oh, Cody was being inappropriate with somebody else when I wasn't there. He was saying things he shouldn't be saying to another wife. And it's just good. It's good on every level. And I love that Christine said that. And I love that TLC put it in.
This is my husband here. This is so weird. Why do you think this is appropriate? Your wife should be here if you're going to tell things like that to me. Where's your wife? Don't say things like that to me.
Of course. Step back, Jenny. Don't get too proud of Christine, because all the good stuff Christine says, she says to the camera in a couch interview later on. None of it does she say to Cody's face. None of it.
Well, that's disappointing.
She's a step better than Janelle, but barely. And I mean that, barely. Therefore, I'm really looking forward to Meri's episode next week. All right, let's go on.
However it is, it was a life experience. And
Wink.
Oh, there were so many experiences. Baby Yoda, bone dry. Take your first one. I got a little bit left in here. Drink.
And it was incredibly poetic.
What?
It was beautiful, like a storm and a sunset. There was hard days and there were good days, and it was beautiful from a poet's perspective.
What is he talking about? He tries so hard to be poetic that in this moment, because he doesn't know how to be, he's just going to say, it was poetic. And he's so serious. He always said Christine was like tumultuous and all that, but then things were really sweet and good and calm. Like, is that what he's talking about? Like their relationship was a storm, but then also a sweet sunset. That's what was poetic about it. That it was tumultuous and then they worked through it. And then it was tumultuous and worked through. That's exhausting, Cody. That's not poetic. Unless it's a deep, dark poem. Like, the Raven. Your marriage was very Edgar Allan Poe.
right? What are some others?
What are some others? There was a list. I had a list for Janelle. I didn't do the list with Janelle. I just brought up a topic from 35 years ago and got stuck on that. I forgot about the list. So I really need to do the list here. You're not saving me like she did. So, okay. What else was there?
Apologize for being the freaking victim because I wasn't.
Okay, sentence makes no sense. I apologize for being a victim because I wasn't. You apologize for acting like a victim. See, he can never take responsibility for anything else. Because if he says, I acted like a victim, then it shows that his behavior was wrong. He can't do it. He can't say, I was acting bad. I was acting poor. I was acting like a victim. Can't do it. He squirms out of accountability every way he can. It's the worst. You know what? Pause. I'm not going to take this line by line. I'm going to do a separate video line by line. I'm going to talk more holistic here. Yes, I will do a separate video like I did with Janelle where we break it down line by line to look at his apology and determine, did Cody apologize on his non-apology tour? So let's talk more in generalities. Cody got served in this fake apology situation with Christine. Oh, but not by Christine, by David. Yes, David was the superstar of the episode. Hands down. So good. And I'm going to put clips in here for you to see. Cody's face gets more and more red every time David calls him out. And Cody starts to think, what's this guy doing here? Who invited him? I got to take a picture of Cody's face right here. Hold on. This is so good. He's the best is when he says words that he thinks are philosophical, but they're so stupid. They're like so dumbed down that it's comical. Yeah. Okay. Here's Cody's words. He's like, part of my apology, Christine, is to say, wow, that was special. When and where it was special. Wait, let me show you the picture I took. Look at this. Oh gosh. Look at this, people. That's how serious his face is when he says, wow, that was special. When and where it was special.
Wow, that was special.
So intense.
When and where it was special.
Do you get how deep I'm being right now? Yesterday, I was hungry. When and where I was hungry. And for the past 5 years, I was angry. When and where I was angry. Nietzsche, everybody. Which I know is pronounced different than that, but I don't know. It's the American version. David can't understand where Cody's coming from here, and he's just like shoots it straight, and I love it.
And you know damn well you loved her because you wouldn't have got married. You wouldn't have had all these kids if you didn't love her. It's just weird. Sorry.
Cody's now going to veer off because he's not getting any response from David and Christine at this point when it comes to what he thinks is apologizing, I think. So now he's going to lay it on even thicker about how great their relationship was, which it wasn't, but he's going to say how great it was and thank her now. Thank her for the good times. Christine just looks confused. She honestly does. She's like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what is he going to thank her for? I apologize. This one got stuck in my bathroom closet for 8 hours today while I was at a Christmas party at my mom's house with the family. So we're a little needy. She doesn't belong in the closet and she's not allowed in the closet. So it's essentially her fault, but I'm responsible for her. So I do take responsibility. It's my fault. Sorry, we were in a rush. And you don't go. She goes in there and she hides. She hides under the clothes so I can't see her. And if I push them back, she goes against the wall so I don't see her. And I close the door because I don't want her in there when I'm not there. I don't need her cat hair all over my clothes. Okay, I'm defending I'm pulling a Cody Brown right here. And I'm trying to defend. I am sorry. I am sorry that you spent 8 hours in the closet. I am very sorry. I love you, and that was my fault. I should see where you are every time before I leave, no matter how many people are here and how crazy it is. It's my fault. You're my responsibility. You had no way to get out of the closet. I'm sorry. Do you forgive me? She got back at me. She tore up my rug. Back to Cody. Cody says, I wanted to thank you for a really fascinating and wonderful and precious and special, of course, special drink experience. Oh, drink again. Talk about laying it on thick.
Hey, like, one of the reasons I wanted to meet with you is I wanted to say thank you for a really fascinating and wonderful and precious and special experience. Thank you.
What is this? Some kind of romper room?
I don't think my husband's used that many adjectives in a sentence to describe how amazing our marriage is. And it's maybe the first year of marriage. But Cody's divorced from her and he's thanking her from a 5-adjective description of how amazing their marriage was or their experience. And then he's really weird. He's like, thank you. She's not responding. He's like, okay, we've all moved on. We're good.
Okay, we've all moved on. We're good.
We could just end this right there. Yes. They moved on before they met you today, Cody. They moved on, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. They moved on. This is all about Cody. Cody has not moved on. So he keeps projecting and going on this tour and saying, I'm doing this for you so that you can have closure and you can move on. They have closure. They've moved on. But it's not just that he says it. It's that he's so arrogant. That's the kicker, right? He does it with an attitude of superiority and arrogance and a snobbish way of looking down on Christine. And I don't like it. And David didn't like it.
We're gonna shake hands and be friends, I hope.
Why do you say that? Why do you say I hope? Why do you say that?
That is the first time anybody held Cody's feet to the fire. He does all of this. We're going to be great, I hope. I don't know, completely out of my control. I'm going to have relationships with my kids again by this time next year. They'll all be here for Christmas, I hope. I'm going to develop a relationship with my kids and the ex-wives again. I hope. Everything's I hope. And David is calling him out on it, and I love it. I mean, it would have been nice if in the past one of the producers would have at one point said, why do you hope? Why do you not know? Why can't you make anything happen in your life that you want to have happen? Because the show you didn't make happen, Cody. Christine made it happen. I'm trying to think what successful thing you made happen. Oh, you produced children. So do warthogs. Big deal. Procreating can be done by anybody, even hardened evil criminals. So no feather in your cap for that. The kids turned out great. That was all benefit of the wives. I'm trying really to think here. What has Cody done that he has produced, that he has created, that he has made, that he has contributed to, that he's developed on his own? I can't think of a thing. I really can't. Write it down below if you can think of anything. Let me know. Let me know if I'm off base here. But the answer to David's question is because I have no control over anything in my life. I am a hot mess who can't look at anyone else's point of view. Therefore, I have no control of anything. I'm very myopic. I look at things through the lens of how this is going to affect me and how I feel about it. And that's it. And because of that, it hasn't really served me well in life. And I just don't know why every relationship is deteriorating and crumbling. So I just hope. Hope is not a strategy. Cody's going to use his favorite. So good. Cody's going to use his favorite figure of speech right here, which is completely the opposite of how it should be used.
There is so much water in the bridge. I'm here to apologize.
It's so great. What is this, the 4th time he said the exact same thing, which is horrible in and of itself. But when he's using it incorrectly, it just stands out. Now it seems like he's done it 40 times. So at this point, Cody's flubbing. He doesn't know how to answer David. He's like, oh, but I goes, oh, you know, so Cody's just talking. David just stops him. He's like, okay, I've seen this dog and pony trick in the past. This isn't going to end well for you. So I'm just going to let you stop and not just ramble on and say words that are meaningless because it makes you look bad. Let me just interject if I can. And then David asks him, can I give you a word of advice? It is priceless. If anybody came up to you and said, you know what, can I give you a word of advice? You'd be like, oh, sure. You know, maybe you would say, yeah, or what? I don't know. Okay. But like a nod, an acknowledgement, Cody's frozen. He's frozen and he pulls back like he's taken back. He does not like that David wants to give him a word of advice. That would put David here and Cody here. See, Cody doesn't like that. Cody wants to see himself as being up here. He feels like he's the one that should be giving advice to David. He feels superior to David. I don't know why, but he does. And so for David to just say those words, even if David said nothing else, it's just like priceless right there. It was like my favorite part of the episode. I think. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode. Okay.
I don't know where we step from here.
Can I give you a little bit of advice? Just a little bit?
David said, start with your kids.
Start with your kids. Show that part, because the women have moved on, but your kids still need to heal. And that's the part that you need. And I'm just saying, to be honest with you, because I had to do it with my own kids. And trust me, I butted heads. Oof.
You don't have to do this, Cody. The fake apology tour is not necessary because they don't care. They've moved on, which is what's so infuriating when he keeps saying, I'm doing this for you. They've moved on. What about your children? He cares so much about his ex-wives of years. Between 2 and 4 years ago, he divorced them. And this is his focus. Meanwhile, he has zero relationship with the majority of his children. David is 100% right in this situation. Cody doesn't like it. Of course. Okay, so now we go to the talking head interview, right? We are going to hearken back to what we said before, which is, why is this man here again? I'll tell you why that man is there. Because he knows his wife has no backbone. Besides the fact, Cody, you invited him there. There's that. But beside that, David is speaking everything that Christine has said to him. All the pillow talk, all the all day long talk, not even just pillow talk, just he has a front row seat to the relationship of Cody with Truly because David lives with her every day. And as I said tonight in the live stream, if you went back and counted the minutes, I bet any money to date, David has spent more time with Truly than Cody has spent with Truly in his life. David has Truly one-on-one. Christine and David together have Truly in the house there every single day. Cody at best was at Christine's house once every 4 days after Truly was born. And he didn't show up until the evening. He ate dinner and he went to sleep. So what, a couple hours he was there when they were awake? And then there were 6 kids to divide his attention between? Yeah. How much Truly time did he get? And that diminished over the years until he just wasn't showing up at all. Yeah, I bet minute for minute, David has spent more time with Truly. I would say David is an expert on Truly. Comparatively, Cody doesn't know much about her at all and therefore should be listening to David. But no, Cody's ego is not going to allow that. Okay, now in the episode, we are going to cut to where Janelle and Meri are talking on the phone together. And I love this. I love this because they're getting along and it's going to drive Cody insane when he watches it. Oh, I love it. Now, Janelle does say in the Talking Head interview that she knows that Cody's going on his apology tour, but she didn't ask Meri anything about it because she doesn't need to know anything about it or that. And I'm thinking, what? No, I disagree with that. I think the ex-wives club needs to bond together and all talk about what happened and what went down. This is the problem that they've had in their marriage their entire time. Cody has pitted one against the other and saw to it that they never communicated or talked to each other. So the more they talk to each other now and the more they realize what Cody is continuing to do in terms of trying to pit them against each other, the better everything will be for them. And Cody's behavior and actions and intentions will come to light. That's what needs to happen. Completely disagree with Janelle here, where she's like, I don't need to know anything about what happened with Meri and him. Except that he's throwing you under the bus.
Am I right? You know I'm right.
Every opportunity he gets.
I know Cody's making his rounds, but I'm not going to ask her about it. Like, I don't need to know. I don't want to know. Like, no, I just don't.
So as Janelle and Meri are talking, Janelle says, listen, I don't have intentions to marry somebody else, but I just feel like to put a final closure on this relationship with Cody, I need to go ahead and do the spiritual release. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. Meri agrees and she says, listen, I felt the same way. I was talking to Cody about it and told him I was going to go ahead and get the spiritual release. He kept saying, I don't know why you need to do that. We're not part of the church anymore. So those were her words. We are not part of the church anymore, which we know the minute they moved to Vegas, they were not part of the church anymore. They said there is no church there, and they stopped doing their family home church services on Sundays, probably because Robin's kids didn't like them. They didn't want to sit through them. They were bored, so he ended them.
Allegedly.
Because they did it all the way up until Robin came into the marriage. And Meri said, listen, we got married that way, so I feel like we need to get divorced and released that way. What I did like about this episode is that Meri shared a little bit more about that conversation that she had with the church leaders there. According to Meri, they weren't planning on giving her a release that day.
Well, that's news.
They listened to her side of the story, and then they said, okay, we need to hear Cody's side of the story. And then Meri asked them a couple questions, and by the time they had more of a conversation, they just kind of said, you know what? You're here now. We're here now. We're just going to do it. You get your release. There you go. I'm thinking when she asked them more questions and they went back and forth, it was because Cody was notified about this. He knew exactly where it was. He knew when it was. She has the text messages to prove he stopped responding to her. He refused to go.
I felt like they still wanted to talk to Cody, and I could see that it was not going that way. And I started asking questions, and he finally did say, you know what, you're here, we're here, let's just do it. So he granted it that day, and I walked out of there single.
Janelle said that when she talked to Cody about it, because she's already had a conversation with them, so he's got a heads up again. So all those times that she had to contact him and work with him to try to get Coyote Pass settled, she brought up during that time, I think I should get a spiritual divorce. And Cody said, I don't understand why you need to do this. Again, we're not part of the church. Why would you need to do it?
He was like, why would you do that? He's like, we're not part of the church. I'm like, but we still got married that way.
I mentioned it when we were working on the property back and forth. His attitude has been kind of like, well, I don't know why you're doing it, but okay, it's fine, whatever.
Okay, so he's aware. Just in case in the future he throws another temper tantrum like he did with Meri and says, I don't know why she did this. This comes out of nowhere. Because you remember what he said with Meri. Had I been there and I was able to share my side of the story, she wouldn't have gotten that release. Cody had the balls to say that. So I'm just wondering if history will repeat itself and he will do this with Janelle. So let's just make a note here. Cody has already been notified. Janelle wants to get a spiritual release as well. So Janelle is freaking out over this situation. And she's like, Meri, I need you to make the call for me. I'm a grown-ass woman, but I can't do this. And Mary's like, you can do it. Text today. Just text him. And Janelle's like, I'm going to do it right now. And she does. And she sends a text. And Mary's all happy. And Janelle's all happy. And it's a happy scene for all of us viewers as well.
I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
But Meri, I need you to make that first call for me so he doesn't
Call, text, I dare you. I double dog dare you today. Text.
Okay.
And just be like, hey, I need to have a conversation with you. And you could even say about terminating my marriage.
I'm actually going to just do it right now.
Do it.
Okay. It is sent, Meri. It is sent.
Meri does a nice job of reaching out back to Janelle by saying, let me know how it goes. And then she does throw in, if you want me to know. She's doing a good job of not overstepping her bounds.
Well, let me know how it goes. If you want to share it with me, let me know when your meeting is up there. And if you want me around, I'll be around.
Okay.
Cool. It's nice to have moral support.
I love that. I want them to be friends so Cody gets upset. And Meri has a really good point. To have somebody who has walked in those same shoes, not only in a polygamous marriage or not only in a polygamous marriage in the AUB, but in a polygamous marriage in the AUB, married to Cody Brown for 30 years.
God forbid.
They get each other, and I wish that Janelle would just see the new Meri, because she always said, oh, we have such different personalities, we'll never get along. I just wish she'd see Meri as she is now and realize she's okay to have a beer with every couple of months. That's it. I'm not saying they have to be besties. I honestly think it would be healing for both of them. I really do. And I think it would be really healing for Christine as well, if Christine could get there. But That's just me. I know. I'm a broken record. I just want everybody to get along. Except they don't have to do that with Cody and Robin. I'm not that good a person.
We get it.
That's the side of my heart that I'm working on. Work in progress. So we come back to Las Vegas at this point, and gosh, in the talking head interview, which is the introduction to this next segment, Cody comes right out and says,
I've set a boundary with my kids, and I'm setting that boundary with David and Christine.
why? That's all I want to know. Why, Cody? Why set a boundary with your kids? What boundary do you need to set with your kids that they are imposing upon you that's so harmful and hurtful and unsafe for you that a boundary needs to be set? I do want to know, because I see your kids as nothing but lovely. And I think the fact that you only speak to 5 out of 18 of them means it's a you problem, Cody. Maybe boundary does not need to be set. But Cody's clearly standing by it, says it right in the talking head interview, which is filmed months after the show's ended.
You will never change.
Okay, let's find out what the boundary is.
I don't care what you think. I'm here to apologize, and I don't even want to be reminded of that because it will bring me back to an angry place.
Okay, well, that's heated. First of all, he's not saying what the boundary is. So thank you very much for woo, 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 woo. Let's just say a bunch of words. But I don't even want to think about that. I do believe he's talking about his children. That's a horrible thing to say. And the reason he doesn't want to talk about his children is because it will make him angry. The man has issues.
Well, there's an effort I'm already making and
That's good.
reaching out.
There's an effort that I'm already making. I'm reaching out.
Prove it. Tell us one way you are reaching out to your kids, because according to your kids on social media, you're not. This is just the worst. This is the worst. Cody gives us the benefit of understanding and explaining to us why his relationships have deteriorated with his kids, right? Why? He pauses because he can't think of the words. How can I blame this on them? How can I not make this my responsibility? How can I get out from being responsible for everything I've said and done to them? How? Because I just admitted I sent the boundary with them, and that's why we're not communicating.
Those deteriorations happened as a party, not as an individual.
It happened as a party, not as an individual. What? Do you just mean they said something as bad as I said, and they did something as bad as I did? And even if that were true, that doesn't matter. You're the father, you reach out. Your job to continue to love them and to show love and be an example of love. That's your job. You're supposed to love and protect your children above all. He's not loving them and he's not protecting them. He's hurting them. Unbelievable. It's a party, not an individual. There's no party, Cody.
It's a play on words.
And then he decides to put David down and look David right in the eye in this moment. Try to reset up his status above David again.
Not as an individual.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Arrogant prick.
How David kept his cool right there, I don't know. How Christine kept her cool, I don't know. Very disappointed in Christine in this episode. Very disappointed. David, rock star. He is being a good example to Cody of how to be a man. And when somebody tells you something that you don't like, how to respond. But I just wish he was a little more petty for my viewing pleasure. In the talking head interview, Cody won't like this either. David goes on to explain, okay, when he cut me off and said, do you understand that? And was rude and mean and diminishing in that moment. And I was like, okay, hands off. But let me point something out here.
I am around his kids, and I do see them hurt, and I'm hoping that he'll reach out to every one of them, and it's not just on his terms, it's on their terms too.
Right? He keeps saying, oh, it wasn't my fault. It's a relationship. It's 2 people are involved. There's always 2 people involved. Yet I can set a boundary. Well, guess what? They can too. 2 people are involved, Cody. Using your own words. Oh, Cody has more to share with us, of course.
Any of his experience with his children and any of his advice for me is something that I'm just not interested in at this point, because it's like he's kind of just on the opposite side of this.
Can you believe Cody does not want to hear about David's relationship with his children, nor does he want to take any advice from David? I thought Cody was way more open-minded and open to criticism and critique. Apparently not.
I'm picking up your sarcasm.
Well, I should hope so, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
I don't even know what he means by opposite side, because he's on the side of the kids. Maybe that's exactly what he means. He's with the kids, he hears the kids, he knows what the kids are saying. So he's going to take the kids' side. So he's on the opposite side. Again, in Cody's mind, it's a war. It's a battle. It's a war. And Cody's going to treat his relationship with his children, who've done nothing wrong, like a war. And David is on the enemy side.
That's messed up.
So what you're saying
My
is
bad experience with my children and their pain comes from an experience that we were in together, not that they or I did something wrong and offensive.
Like, that sentence just doesn't even make sense. When you're in something together, one person has to speak, and then the other person. People don't speak at the same time. The disagreement between you that you're in together is because one person said something and the other person got offended, or one person did something and the other person got hurt. That is together. That's what a relationship is. It's back and forth. So his analogy sucks. Get ready. Here come the overdramatics of Cody. Give an example of what he's open to.
I'm willing to have the conversation. I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to hold space.
Hold space. Drink.
Dad, you did this, you did this, you did this. I'm willing to hold that space.
Again. Hold space.
Wink.
And no, you're not. You are not doing absolutely everything you can to show contrition. You can't be arrogant and combative and say, I'm willing to have a conversation. I don't know why they're not calling me. Like, how this man, like, he has zero social knowledge. He does not understand communication. He does not understand relationships. You can't be mean and evil and have criteria and borderlines and limits and boundaries with your kids and then say, but I'm willing to have a conversation. They just can't do this, say this, and they have to accept her, and her. Those were all Robins. The evil Robin, the crying Robin, the I don't know Robin, the manipulative lion. Yeah.
etc.
And then the arrogance of Cody at the very end of this, with him saying, David doesn't know what's going on. He thinks he does. He doesn't. Oh, he does. He knows Christine way better than you did after being married to her for 30 years. He gets Christine. He understands Christine. He knows her heart. He knows her mind. You don't. The arrogance of him drives me crazy.
He really just doesn't know what's going on. He thinks he does. He thinks he understands polygamy, but he only has a small perspective on it.
Wait, he talks to everybody like he's instructing us. That's what's so offensive to me and why I get riled up on this. He thinks he's schooling us. Oh my gosh. To which David replies,
I do know a lot about polygamy more than what he realizes. I've been around it since basically the day I was born. And so for him to sit there and say, I don't know, he doesn't know me.
Ooh, boom. You were in your mid-20s, Cody, before you even found out Daddy became a polygamist and then eventually looked into it. Who knows more about polygamy? In your face, Cody. Cody's now trying to teach David and Christine about how they should be involved in the relationship with his kids that he has no relationship with. Let's get this straight, everybody. Cody has no relationship with his kids. It's broken down. It's a hot mess. He doesn't know how to fix it. He always does the, I don't know. And I've got boundaries. And I don't know why they're not reaching out. I don't know why for 5 years I haven't had a relationship with 13 kids. But yet he is the one that can tell them how they can be involved in his relationship with his kids.
That's rich.
Like, you guys can advise my kids to communicate with me, but I shouldn't have you guys involved in my relationship with my children.
I agree.
That's
Separate.
triangulation.
It's
and
your
that's considered-
relationship with your kids.
Thank you.
Well, possibly, since the two of them both have great relationships with all of your kids, you should open your ears, Cody, and listen to them, maybe for a second, and stop trying to school and teach them about triangulation. He's the worst.
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
What? Oh, come on, man.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The time